Okay, we're going to look at our numerical representations cheat sheet. This is dealing with rational numbers. So this one deals with classifying numbers. Our largest section is always rational numbers. And that goes down here with C, rational numbers. Rational numbers are fractions, repeating decimals, and terminating decimals. That means they end. So any decimal that ends is a terminating decimal. Our next category is integer. We define that as all whole numbers and their opposite. It also includes 0. So maybe write that in if you don't remember that. A is going to be our whole numbers. And that is positive counting numbers, and 0 is included. We also talked about natural numbers, which would be a fourth box in here. And that is all positive whole numbers except for 0. Natural numbers. 0 is not included in that. Okay. This won't be on your test, but we did talk about it, so I want to make sure I include it in our notes. We're looking at a number line. The blank of a number line is the blank on the number line. Okay. Absolute value. The absolute value of a number is the distance from 0 on a number line. Here's 0. Point A is -1, but it is 1 unit away from 0. So point A is -1. Its opposite is +1. Its absolute value is 1 because it is 1 unit away. Point B is right here. 0, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 units. So it is +3. The opposite would be -3. And the absolute value is 3 because it's 3 units away from 0. C is at point 5. The opposite would be -5, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units from 0, which makes that absolute value of 5. Take the number line off of there. D is going to be -3. The opposite is +3, and it is 1, 2, 3 units from 0. That's how we do absolute value. Alright, putting the numbers in the same order. First, we need to remember that numbers on a number line going right are always positive. Going left are always negative when we have 0 in the middle. The further away from 0, the lower the value. So this would be -1, -2. -2 would have a lower value than -1, even though the number is larger. So if I'm going from greatest to least, my greatest is going to be my positive numbers. So I've got 3 and 4. 4 is obviously bigger than 3. So I've used those. Now I have to decide which of my negatives are the greater value. If -1 is bigger than -2, it's also bigger than -7 and -4. So -1, which means -4 must be bigger than -7, which makes this the order from greatest to least. And we're talking about the value, not the number. I'd rather have $4 than -7. That means I owe somebody $7. I'd rather owe somebody $1 than $7. That's one way you can think of it to help you remember that. Ordering the fractions, decimals, and percentages, you need to turn them all into the same thing. I tend to turn them into decimals, especially since we already have 2 And percents are pretty easy to turn into decimals. We're going to move it one place, and we get 5.55. Now, I know that 1/4 is 0.25, but if I don't, I can come over here and divide 1 by 4. It doesn't go into 1, add my decimal by 0. 4 goes into 10 twice. It goes into 25 times. So this one is 5.25. So from least to greatest, 5.2. 5 and 1/4 because 5.25. 5.55. Oh no, and then this one is going to be my least because it's 0.7, so it's 5.07. And I compare my tenths place. 2 and 0. 0 is less than 2. So this is the order from least to greatest. Coordinate plane. Here's my origin right here. Okay, this is 0, 0. I'm going to label my axis. This is X. This is Y. Alright. And if I give you 1, 4, I'm going to start at my origin and go over 1 because I always do X first. X is always the first one. Y is always second. And then I'm going to go to positive 4. That would be 1, 4. And if I did -2, -3, still going to start at the origin. I'm going to stay on my x-axis and go to -2. And I'm going to go down to -3, and this would be -2, -3. That's how you use the coordinate plane.